Played 5 first-year players, Melbourne have this year, and the Bombers, by comparison, are only playing their second today in Jane Laverde.
And away we go. James Harmes making his debut for the Melbourne Football Club as well. We'll speak about him when he gets on the ground.
Looks like he's wearing Wayne Harmes' old black boots. Yeah, good to see black back in vogue. Jones gets the clearance. Dawes held a little. Good punch away. Quilt. McKernan has done well coming off the rookie list for the Bombers to be a pinch hitter this year.
Hooker forward again.
So Merritt to Hooker, and he was pushed forward last week, and they probably robbed Peter more than they paid Paul last week with that move. They missed him in the back line, but he did kick a couple.
He got 3 goals last week. He was pretty good.
Done as a match-up for the day.
And had a massive hole in defence, though. They probably leaked about 10 from the spot that he'd normally play in. So it just depends on how James Hird rated it. But he's back there right now. Dunn stands under this. He was best on ground last time these two teams met. There was Hooker, flying shot. McDonald. And he bangs it outside 50 in hope. Dawes can't get there. We'll see a lot of spilt marks, you'd think, this afternoon. Zach Merritt, a 1-2 at Quilt. Wobbles one inside 50. There'll be a few chaos balls as well. Cross, Jones, Gwilt, boundary line, ball in.
Just, Hooker was good value last week, but if you're a backman by trade, you saw Hooker get the ball then, naturally was turned into the outside, took one step and went to snap it. Now, a gifted and an understanding forward is going to put a step on there, he's going to get a balk. That was a backman typically trying to get a shot away and not understanding the situation.
And the stats don't show the one that he missed from 12 metres directly out that would have given Essendon all the momentum at a crucial time.
We talked about Heppel being tagged with James Hird. Well, he's got young Viney, Jack Viney, who is wearing him like a second jumper at the moment. Great tackle from behind, free kick to the Bombers, and it'll be free kick to Jackson Merritt. So the intensity right there from the start, cross court with the ball. Just a little bit slow. Good tackle though, did it well. So Merritt squares the ball up. Now a chance, Quilt from 55, he lines the ball up. First score on the ball to the Bombers is touched on the line, is it? We'll have a good look at this.
I believe it's a goal. I want to check the ball wasn't touched on the goal line.
Score review. Umpire's call is a goal. Can you please check if it was touched?
Let's have a look here. I thought it had the distance, but we'll see. And that is a goal. So umpire's call is pretty good. Let's have a look from the other angle. Has to be completely over the line, and it is.
Wouldn't have wanted the fat bit to be any fatter.
This is the goal umpire's hat. And the umpire thought it was right, and I think you've got to give that a goal. There's probably half a frame in it, but...
Touch and go.
Completed. Scores are behind, ball's been touched.
Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
Probably a 50-50 call, wasn't it?
Well, I think he's measured it against the fat part of the goalpost, as Dennis Kennedy will say, the fat bit. So there you go.
Was there a hat camera that saved him there?
Well, it might have.
It was
half a frame, which is a 25th of a second. So let's have a look at the head camera again. And remember, the head camera is behind the line, so the angle's slightly different there. And I reckon that's a goal all day.
Not sure. He just caught the back of the pad, I reckon. What is the rule there?
Well, the point
The
there
padding, the back of the padding is the line.
is the line. The only point
included,
there is that was from head cam, and the hat was behind the line, so the angle is slightly different.
so you're taking into account a parallax error there.
I am, Dirk. And I reckon they made a blue.
Certainly made it blue, the Melbourne players letting Quilt that much space.
That was Dawes, went deep inside 50 to give coverage rather than mind his man a bit further out.
So a mad scramble on the wing. There'll be big packs, you would think, forming this afternoon. The rain returns. McKernan wobbles one, cut off by Vince. Birdie Vince. Be a good season. Sits it up high in hope. Gawn will fly from the side.
That's a good grab.
Great hands. Dry ball at the moment. Sends it to Howe in the pocket. Sharon, but it's Steinberg, I should say, with him. And Steinberg, with the spoil on the arm, gives away the free kick.
That's an old... From the olden days, that would have been considered Matey Murner. They would have They would have let that one roll on, Dwayne.
It's a big ask for young Steinberg, only his 5th game, Dwayne. So Jeremy Howe, tough matchup, obviously, very good vertical leap.
He opens it up just inside the boundary. So it's a behind a piece, early stages MCG.
Traditional matchups today, or the matchups we'd expect going in. Hurley's got the job on young Jesse Hogan. Big one, Quilter's on Dawes. Bagley on Garland. So they're the main matchups in the Melbourne forward line.
So the goals are going to be at a premium today. We've had a bit of weather already with the rain bucketing down before the game. It's cleared up a little bit now, but there's hail later in the afternoon forecast. Essendon are the lowest scoring team in the competition with a 73-point average. Melbourne are 15th lowest scorers. There's the screen, as you can see. The blue is the rain that's coming through. So that's gone through already, and there's a little bit more to come behind it. In the meantime, Hooker has it on centre wing. He bombs it inside 50. Chance for the Bombers here. Off hands, Danaher on his left boot. Lines them up and misses by a mile. And as you can see, the ostrich hands here. Sean Edwards saying, hey, mate, how about the handball over the top to Joe the Goose?
Exactly right. He runs out. Look at the amount of time and space he's got. He almost had time to straighten up and have a shot on goal or run it up to the man and over the top.
Just poor awareness, Jonathan.
It was.
He should have just kicked the goal, though, Derm, surely.
Yeah.
Drop punt would have done it.
That's a forward under pressure, Derm, trying to hit the scoreboard early.
Probably could have computed through 4 options and decided to only go with the first one that came to mind.
So Brownie almost had time to straighten up, or did, and should have.
Should have, exactly right. You've summed it up beautifully there, Dwayne.
It is.
Doing translations there, Dwayne.
Well, we do want to cut the young players some slack, but he's out there with a huge role again today, Danaher, and they need him to provide when it comes his turn. He's a lot older in terms of experience and games-wise than some of the other guys that are playing alongside him today.
And the problem's been his set shot goal king as well, Dwayne, so that'll be interesting to see if he gets an early one.
Believe it or not, today, Dwayne is the 10th most experienced Essendon player.
Well, there you go. You've reinforced my point. Vandenberg tried hard to slip in and get it. There's Laverde. He's had a couple of good efforts early. All front clear. Lumumba ducked out of one. Lyndon Dunn squeezes it wide. Now it stands under it. It's not clear. And taken to the boundary well. In the end by Bagley.
Gee, that was a good spoil coming from behind there by Lyndon Dunn. Reached forward. He probably, we won't read that on any stat sheet, but that stops a shot at goal.
He's had a pretty good year.
Vernon did well in the ruck there. Heppel slams it on the boot. Good play. Now it comes out. Kick forward from Stanton. Over the head of the pack. Punched away to the boundary line. And we'll have another throw in the forward pocket. So Goddard getting amongst the action. Some of the more experienced Essendon players doing the right thing at the moment. Two of the greatest players of the modern era, James Hird and Paul Roos, coaching this afternoon at the MCG. Throw in.
Young lad Harms has got his first run on the ground.
Gawn just had an easy tap there from the forward pocket. That was far too easy there, Brownie, to get that out from a throw-in the forward pocket, not have anyone contest. What happened there?
Yeah, that's right. Poor communication there. You see Lyndon Dunn, he's come into the game with a sore knee. He's already proppy on Cale Hooker, so that'll be one to watch.
The boundary. Tackle late on stretch. Taken out. Put into the bike. But he's okay by Stanton. And they'll need him to stand up today as well, Brent Stanton, who 39 games, one of the few players out there for either side with over 200 games. Melbourne only one player, 200 games plus. And that's, of course, a player that hasn't been with them for all that long, Daniel Cross. Young teams head-to-head. Vince. Well, he ducked into that, Viney.
The ball. He had prior opportunity. Yeah, great explanation by the umpire. You ducked when you had the chance.
Ebel. Sets it wide. Hooker's on the lead. Lumumba in front. There's the other one with over 200 games experience for the Demons. He got one to the ear, and they'll need him to stand up as well.
So H goes for his trademark gallop, beats a player and then kicks it long. Great play from Big Lumumba as he gets it going. Now a chance for Melbourne. Who's up forward? They go into the centre corridor here. And you can see the forward play. Brownie, do you like what you see there with the way they're setting up?
Yeah, I think it's all right at the moment. They're just trying to spread it to the open side and give it a little bit more space coming into the forward line.
Vandenberg's kick was a good one in. It was a crisscross from one side from Lumumba, Vandenberg back to the other side. So Brownie likes what he's seeing, a little bit of open space. Howe blocked for his run there. Offhands Garlett looking with intent and a great tackle. Now that is a sling tackle, I suppose, isn't it?
The key is there, Ed, to shift the defence around. So that's clearly what Melbourne are going to do. Try and get the Essendon defenders moving around and try and create some holes inside their forward 50 that way.
Again from the throw-in, Gawn gets the tap. Viney there, wearing Heppel. And close to the boundary line, takes it to the line for a throw-in. 55 out from the Melbourne goals.
They've got a huge advantage here at the hit-outs with Gawn, and just not cashing in at the moment, the Ds, and this is where they need to, inside these forward sort of 70 of their goal.
Watch the hands, Kingy. He's outreaching. It's not push, it's not shove, it's just outreaching by, gee, almost from the elbow up when they get to stand side by side.
Inside 50. Howe, the big fly, couldn't get near it. Viney tracks the ball, goes hard at it, and we'll have a ball up 35 metres out from the Melbourne goal.
We did see Max Gawn a couple of weeks ago down at Geelong in the big upset Corey Enright's 300th game. He was fantastic, Max.
The ball up. Dawes does the ruck work. Good play, O'Brien for Essendon. It's snapped around the corner by Vandenberg. It's just not going to get there, and through for a behind.
I missed him. Yeah, well, he's been out.
Had a hamstring?
Yeah, for his 3 or 4 weeks. He's
Mature age recruit from Canberra. He's been good for him.
you know what? He's playing like an 80, 100 game player. So he gives them maturity, even though he's, by league terms, what is he? I think he's 10th or 12th game.
Game number 11 today.
Number 11.
And as the boy said, 22 years of age, so he's got a more mature body than some who come into the game. Towed off the deck. High, Tyson free.
Now, he's not a great kick, Don. He's a great fighter for the ball. He's got a great mind for where it's going. And wet ball already. It'll just take 1 or 2 metres off the kick. So he's got to strike it absolutely sweetly here for him.
We're talking about young players becoming men. His apprenticeship will be over in a few weeks' time when he cracks it for a 50th game. Just inside the 50. And it drifts, but it's squeezed in.
Good call, Dome. He's about ordinary kick. He's hit that beautifully.
Yeah, had to hit it sweet.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So a goal there to the Demons, their first of the game. Now let's have a look at this Essendon one again. Now that's the camera on the line on the left, and it's clearly over. And on the other side, they've gone with the...
So he's touched it there, though, Ed. His first touch is even a half frame back from there.
Yeah.
So it's so close. We're looking at... they've stopped it. Now, his fingers have touched it before that frame, though.
I'll split second decision there. Anyway, it's a point. And it's a goal to Melbourne. And they lead by 7 points, and we've been going for 12 minutes in this game.
It was only a point the difference last year, Ed, too, so hopefully it doesn't cost them.
We'll come to that one in about an hour's time, Brady. What's your decision? We'll get another go.
Good boy.
Inside 50 it goes, and Steinberg gets back and takes the mark. Could have been 50. He was grabbed by the arm. Technically, should have been. Off hands again. Almost tackling with intent. Stanton's tackle was an absolute beauty. And the umpire will pay the free kick here, I reckon. And he does. And Stanton's got it.
He rode him to the knees and then turned him just as momentum was falling them forward.
So Stanton kicks up the line, looking for Hooker, who does well there, crunched the pack and made Garland feel it and brought the ball to ground. So good play by Big Carl Hooker, who's been dangerous and imposing in this early 13 minutes of the first term.
Not a bad crowd in either, given the conditions and the rain expected, how cold it is in Melbourne, but it is two traditional Melbourne Saturday afternoon teams at the home of footy. Goddard. Howler found space where there was none. Hooker. Lyndon Dunn's fist wins out again, as it so often does. Play on's the call, the screen. Zach Merritt flicks it out. Past his brother. O'Brien. Stanton setting it all up. Goddard, is he within range? He wobbles one to Hooker. Went to Howler.
The kick was directed there, but because it slid off the instep a little bit, it went a bit flatter, a little bit lower, and then becomes a bit of a chaos ball. So the two players underneath were the drop zone. See there, Hooker and Lumumba just end up running underneath it a bit more, and that's that chaos ball scenario.
Ben Howlett knows how important this is. Goals are gold today.
Yeah, that was critical. Their problem the last few weeks, Dwayne, has been their set shot goal kicking. So you knew whoever had the first set shot was going to be under an enormous amount of pressure. What I like about that, he's able to go back there, Benny Howlett, not a renowned goal kicker, but he was able to survive the pressure from probably the toughest distance, 25 metres out, directly in front. He would have been feeling nerves. That was good by Goddard, though. He just got it straight in there, long inside 50. That's the way you have to play in these conditions, which is a fair bit of moisture out there.
Because the one extra for Melbourne was in the goal square by himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd have picked off anything that was coming in from that range.
Two of the greatest centre-half forwards in the history of the game, Dermot Brereton and Jonathan Brown. Boys, tell us, on a day like today, you just want the ball coming in quickly when you're up forward, don't you?
Yeah, long. Get it in there as quick as possible. Get the crummers to your feet.
Weirdly enough, you're actually hoping for tumble punts.
Yeah.
Because they drop forward, they drop short, and if you forge to the front, you end up taking good, solid, strong chest marks.
Well, you can have some big days in the week, can't you, Derm, if you're prepared to play in front as a forward and take a lot of chest marks?
I used to always marvel at that, Brownie, that guys could take contested marks as chest marks in the wet, and really there was no difference between playing those chest marks on those days and dry days.
Exactly.
It's just all about judging the ball and outmanoeuvring your opponent.
And on the flip side, Dwayne Russell across half back. You don't like it coming in quickly when you're there, do you, mate?
Well, the trouble is, at the moment, I think that the fan and the game are a little distance apart. The positioning of players, as it was played for 100 years, is a lot different to the way they position these days. A lot of 6-on-7s, a lot of 5-on-7s, and sometimes we don't even have a forward line that stays back at all. Stretch. Kicks it to half forward. Bagley, Steinberg went up. It's the deck. Garlett dragged down. Howe dragged down. Good tackling from the Bombers at the moment. Gwilt went hard with a hip and shoulder. Got the Sharon himself. Gave it to Bagley. Hand to Zaharakis. Wide to O'Brien.
O'Brien playing on Nathan Jones, so big job for the young fella.
Sends it to half forward. Hooker's up there. Hands on it. Hits the deck. Viney. On the face, high tackle, free kick, Viney.
Just watching Brendan Goddard, boys. He's been coming off the back of the square and centre bounces. He's basically running around unopposed at the moment. They need him to stand up. They need his leadership early today.
Kingy, where do you want him? Drifting forward or playing behind the ball?
I want him in the midfield, getting his hands on the ball and becoming a distributor like this.
All right, well, he's got it now in the orange boots. You can't miss him. And he brings the ball out to the members' side. It goes over the head of his teammate there in Merritt. Great play by Brayshaw, hard over the ball, but equally good was young Sean Edwards. He's left it behind, went a second time. In goes Brayshaw, picked up by Watts, tries to get the handball out. I reckon he dropped it. Umpire said play on. Zaharakis went off the deck with a kick, and we'll have another ball up on centre wing here as Lyndon Dunn falls over the top of it.
Yeah, Brendan's had one kick, two handballs. I'm with Kingy. The best kick in this team is Brendan Goddard. And if you can't kick goals, Essendon, you've got to have the best kicker at least putting it to advantage inside forward 50.
Well, Bernie Vince made sure he didn't get a kick on that occasion. Just shirt fronted him beautifully. Jones, the captain. Both teams playing with pretty good intent at the moment, but sneaking out the side there and beautifully judged was Brayshaw, who bombs it long. How from behind, punched away from him was Hogan. In fact, he was going for the ball. At the fall of the ball was the first game of Harms who got it out. And now the Bombers are able to run it out. Goddard starting to get into play now, but it's coming straight back. There's plenty of Melbourne players there. Little tap on came from Lyndon Dunn, came off in the end. Now it's picked up by McDonald, who squares the ball up into the centre of the ground.
A lot of space right down the middle, down the spine.
So Cross goes down the spine, got under it a little. Gawns goes up, and Gawn couldn't bring it down. Gwilt does. But again, there's that long bomb out to the waiting Melbourne players. They've got two forwards at the moment, Essendon, the four defenders standing around them. So that's why the long kick-off, it doesn't work. Goddard tries to get the flick out. To the umpire circling here, it did squeeze out in the end, and a push in the back for a kick.
Steinberg couldn't see the ball. It spilled out of Brayshaw's hands. and went through with the tackle.
This is the one area of the game, Doom, where he hasn't quite been able to impact just yet. He's only kicked the 4 goals this season. He's all class, this man. I wouldn't put this beyond him.
You say it's the one area. He's made a head start in others.
And goes for the short pass to Viney. So the young guns combining.
Wouldn't have gone much further than 10 metres, that kick. Well done, though.
You've been generous saying it went 10. What's he like, Brownie?
Yeah, look, he's probably not as known for his kicking, of course, left footer.
10 goals, 11.
Opens it up a bit. He's trying to pull it back. Didn't come back with the left, and it's thumped through easily by Danaher, who's virtually playing last line of defence as the extra man down there.
Blood rule.
Melbourne.
Heard the umpire there. Bernie Vince comes to the bench.
Vince is coming up. Vince.
He's just taking his time, Ben, isn't he?
Just hold it, Michael.
Replacing players on.
Bernie's just making sure everyone mans up.
Just got it on the back of the head.
Put him still on the ground.
Oh, come on, Bernie.
Jeez, there's about 20 blokes out there from Melbourne.
That should almost be 50. There's got to be a time limit.
That's fantastic. No.
Well done, Bernie.
Good on him.
Coming off for the blood rule, he could have given blood. It's
Good leadership. Good leadership.
We've got the blood bag and had a pint taken out. Anyway, Hurley from fullback plays on, and that's a good kick. Out towards the halfback flank position. Fall of the ball was always going to be the Melbourne players who had set up at the back, but that is a magnificent smother there. Great play by Howlett. Bombers are away here. Danaher gets the handball going backwards. It's picked up there by Ambrose. Now it's Goddard. Goddard looking inside. Not much on, so he squares it up to the centre position. It was a good kick. So
that's what Essendon needs to do. They need to go for those attacking kicks and get it back into the corridor. Well, they played well against Hawthorn 2 weeks ago in that first half. They were able to get the ball into the corridor and attack from there.
Gleeson to Gwilt, who kicks to the 50, and you think that was almost a free kick to Hooker, wouldn't you? He'd hand his back on him. Anyway, umpire called play on. Viney scores a try and we'll have a throw in.
Of the top, there's Bernie Vince, and they'll have be looking at the back of his head. We'll watch it here. Oh, yeah, head on head. Paddy Ambrose came through. Of the top 200 ball getters in the competition, nobody brings the ball back into the centre corridor more by foot than Brendan Goddard.
McKernan trying to find the ball there. Good play by Brayshaw. Just pushed through with his shoulder and knocked it 25 metres on. That was great stuff. Gwilt, kick smothered, but he tries to get it going his way. Hibbert has the ball held up and will have a bounce on centre wing on the members' side at the MCG with 5.5 to go in the first term.
We're expected to be tight like this all afternoon. Jones. Vince back on, scrambled it forward, not 15, McKernan. Zaharakis, McKernan. Now Danaher comes hard, Garland with him. Reached over with the fist, Goddard collects, Hibbert. Sends it to Hooker, puts it on the right side for him.
That urgency, Grant.
Great play by Hibbert, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what is Cale Hooker going to offer as a forward today? Couple of disastrous misses last week, but
one of the few to hold his head up though last week.
Yep.
Dwayne
was able to slot a few.
Just a good kick from Hibbert.
Deliberate, concentrating approach, and he's shanked it to the near side.
And Sean Edwards has been quite demonstrative on 2 occasions where he's run into the open goal and no one wants to give it to him, and they've missed both times, both Cale Hooker and also Joe Danaher, and he didn't hold back, did he, Sean Edwards? He was with the hands out.
Let's play on. This will go over. Yeah, it had a little bit to do with Shawnee seeing him at a younger age. He's a talented kid. He's got a good sidestep on him. He's got some real pace as well. Got a few tricks. He's got to turn himself into an 8 to 10 possession player. That's in the back of on the play. He's got to turn himself into a 12, 14 possession player per game rather than the 8 or 9 he's getting now.
He got dropped after the Hawthorn game. He didn't get a kick in that match after being on for 61 minutes, but he's a great young talent from St Mary's, originally in the Northern Territory. Came down on scholarship to Melbourne Bremer.
What's his fitness level?
GWS.
He's probably, like most young kids of that sort of size, he's probably 2 to 3 years off building his tank. to what he really wants. Yeah, it's good size.
84 kilos at the moment.
But I'm glad he's using his vocal cords to say, hey, I'm in the right spot. You might have played more than me, but get it to me if I'm in the right spot.
And I've got to admit, Dermy was right both times.
Yep.
In the meantime, Bernie Vince with his head patched up gets the kick forward, but again it's been picked off there, this time by Bagley.
Jeffy.
Garlett does well. Bagley's gone. He's dived on top of it. Just threw it out in the end. Garlett goes in again. Bagley over the top of it. Did well. Gleeson under pressure. Gang tackle. Thrown to the ground. Ball up.
Now, when you get that sort of tackling and three blokes from the one team get up off that tackle player, you walk away from that feeling a sense of excitement, and it can lift you right there and then in that moment.
Gee, that's interesting. Stanton got the kick away inside 50, but the umpire's bringing it back. He didn't allow Stanton the quick entry.
Yeah.
So now every Melbourne player can get back. You wonder whether Essendon would have rathered the quick entry. So there's the long entry. Big pack flies. Lumumba the highest of them. Hooker breaks free. Got it out to Laverde. Stole it back from him. And slip it behind.
And the pack, the numbers, Dwayne, did that. He couldn't get the clear shot away because of the extra time afforded to the defensive team to run back.
Brownie's looking dangerous though, Cal Hooker. He's the big dominant forward at the moment in this game.
Yeah, he's dangerous. Lyndon Dunn will certainly have his work cut out on him.
He's actually done all right, on a couple of occasions to get spoil on him.
He's taken the front spot a couple of times. He actually looks okay when he goes to the front spot. Dunn is very strong through the hips. He looks better when he goes for that front spot as opposed to trying to play from behind. Hooker is quite tall.
The thing I like about Lyndon Dunn playing at fullback, he fights for the front position in aerial contests.
Yeah. Got the ball out 75 metres, which was a pretty good win, as Bernie Vince bangs it long up towards the centre-half forward position. Dawes thumps it forward. Good punch away there for the Bombers by O'Brien. It comes back into play. O'Brien has to go in and make that Bagley, rather. He got shoved right in the back. So Bagley gets the free kick. Umpire pays the advantage. Stanton kicks out wide. Now the race is on. Now he gets his chance. Edwards.
I told he's got quick feet.
Kicks to the pocket. Oh, Danaher almost fell over and took the mark.
You can see Shawnee Edwards just wanted to put that step on I was talking about. A little bit of the rugby line breaking that.
Viney kicks up towards half forward. No one there though. And Hooker, back in familiar territory, takes the mark at halfback flank.
Lyndon Dunn got the 3 Brownlow votes last time these two teams met. He's a forward turned defender, so he, as a defender now, he knows what the forwards are trying to do. In essence, he's been had a great couple of years, really, Lyndon Dunn. Stretch, got a handball off. Jones, cross. Neil Bullen. Didn't hold it long enough. Quilt's right with him.
He's had a bit of the footy, Quilt.
And tied back in there. So at the moment, Melbourne with 3 loose players behind the ball. 2 now. Essendon push an extra man back, but they've still got the spare behind it, waiting for this kick. And that's why he couldn't just bang it long. He goes for ground. But look pretty deliberate from here.
Hooker's gone into the defence as a loose man for Essendon.
I don't know why they would do that. They're winning sway through the middle of the ground, inside 50s. Essendon, well, this is a retreat, so that'll actually take them to 14 inside 50s against Melbourne's 9. So they're getting more opportunity.
And here's the spare man for the Bombers, that is, with Hooker back there as spare. O'Brien, Stanton. Now Quilt's about to maybe kick to Melbourne's spare. He goes to Hooker. There he gets the pushback.
So you look up there now, it's going to be Goddard as the main target.
Here's McKernan now, has gone down the line.
So, I think that's strange.
Off the hands of the pack, Zaharakis just went over the line.
At the end of the day, though, Essendon will be a lot happier with this performance, especially in the first quarter after getting blown away. Main thing James Hird would have been looking for is that pressure and the effort early on in the game to build a platform, and obviously getting a set shot, which Howler was able to achieve a few minutes back.
Just finding, Jonathan, that the Melbourne forwards are taking their... Well, they're all going to the one footy, incoming footy, and they're taking their opponents to a situation where you'd prefer to have one-on-one. They're getting 2-on-2, 3-on-3 aerial contests. Like here, you got Howe, Dawes, and a big pack of players there.
Well, Hooker's got the ball on a string at the moment, whether up forward or down back.
They're trying to surround that loose man. In that stage, it was Carl Hooker. So the Melbourne forwards are trying to create a 3-on-4. You're more of a chance to get the ball to that ground in that situation.
Great to see young Alex Brown back in the Essendon side after having a knee reconstruction.
So now that Hooker's done well down back, that's in the back anyway if it's not a mark. Now that Hooker's gone back, every ball going into Essendon's forward line now is a static long kick. There's no movement from the targets. Like Hooker was giving them a bit of sideways movement, so it came in a little bit better in terms of a
McDonald kicks long, and at the moment it's a bit like kick to kick in the schoolyard with a few blokes waxing, because it's gone from one defensive half-back flank to the other and back and forth, and that one's going to probably come back as well. Gawn just thumps it away, and you've got two teams. Essendon are 18th in the competition for scoring. Melbourne are 15th in the competition for scoring, and they've kicked one goal apiece at quarter time, and scores are level. We've got the close one, boys. 1-3-9 apiece at the MCG.
If I'm in a forward line that's not kicking goals, I want to see Brendan Goddard kicking the ball to me over 50, 60 metres, banging it in there, trace the bullets to the likes of Shawnee Edwards, who's on a fast break, a fast lead, because he can kick it pure.
So Hooker back to full forward again. Second term underway. Vince throws that one out. Brayshaw can't get it out. So Danaher, Hooker, Edwards all inside 50 for the Bombers. And the flick down, Vince. And he launches one. He's got Dawes wide. Just eluded him, floated a little through the air. Ball in. Rained earlier today for a good hour and a half, so it is a little slippery, but conditions not too bad right now. Gawn and McKernan. There's that flick. Garland. He had the reach. Did Gawn? They couldn't.
Had a good game.
Full toll.
Last week, Jeff Garland. In a big loss, he was a constant source of danger to the Eagles' backman.
Yeah, he's a beautiful snap. He's kicked 9 goals from snaps this year, Jeff Garland. So Cross kicks it to the hot spot. Up goes Hogan, couldn't quite grab it. Brought it to ground, did well. Dawes is in there as well. Now comes out to the skipper. Jones gets the handball out. Bernie Vince tracking one way, going back, snaps around the body and misses. I was just saying, Garlett's kicked 9 snap goals for the season, just behind Eddie Betts and Jake Stringer with 10 apiece. The only players to kick more. So a point and a near miss to Melbourne in the first minute.
Talking about Garlett, he only kicked 1 goal last week, but he laid 10 tackles.
Yeah, I thought his work and his effort was fantastic at chasing the play. He really created some confusion.
It's been a great pickup, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He had some trouble over the summer, some that Melbourne didn't know about, but it's worked out okay. So it's going to be Gawn's ball.
His size is creating problems here.
And he had to come around behind the mark. And Hurley wasn't going to let Howe take an easy, uncontested mark that didn't count, just to get his hands on the ball, thumped it clear.
Yeah, he's got hold of his left wrist.
So there's a few big leaping forwards down there. Howe's down there, Hogan's down there, Dawes is waiting for it.
Not one lead.
He sits it up. Here they come now. Howe, hands on it. Arms tried to get it away. And kick around the body by Jetta this time. And Dawes in the pocket. Wrestled his way to the front. Hands it off. Easy goal. Jeremy Howe.
Yeah, well done. Good mark there. Dawes was able to work his way to the front spot. He'd be happy with the starting the quarter off like that, because Gould's had a lot of the footy. He had more than 10 possessions in that first quarter, and Dawes was unable to get into the game. But see, you'd like to see Melbourne dropping the ball a little bit deeper than what they have the last couple of kicks, but they were fortunate enough they were able to get away with a good contested mark and a good finish there.
Ariel Steinberg gets lost in the middle of the ground. You see Howe's already in shot on the goal umpire cam, the third eye. And yeah, not a great effort to mind his man. They just got caught ball gazing there, young Steinberg.
He gave up. He thought Dawes would have the shot. I don't need to worry about my man.
So 3 shots in 3 minutes to the Melbourne Football Club. They scored 1 goal too, and they're out to an 8-point lead.
Not sure about the handball though, Ed. That close to goal.
Exactly. You would have had a shot, wouldn't you? Well, got it away, though, and Howe ran to the right spot. Quilt, who has been busy, but he turns it over to Lumumba.
These are bad signs right now.
Melbourne are running all over him at the moment, Derm, aren't they?
Yeah.
Here's a chance. Jones from 55 out.
That's a bad kick.
Bad kick and a good intercept by Hurley, who's been resolute for the Bombers. He heads for the boundary line and disguises it well. Dare I say it, a la Johnny Beckwith, Dermot. As they used to say, Mike, hello to Mike Williamson if you're watching.
He hit the boundary.
He hit the boundary. Throw in on centre wing.
So Cross looks like, yep, definitely. As we heard at quarter time, Cross has gone to Goddard now. So that's the Vandenberg tackle. Big, mature body taking down Merritt.
Off hands, Danaher lurking. Lumumba dives in on top of it. Held it up. He might be in trouble here. H. Umpire circling. Umpire Schmidt says, give me the ball.
He just loves saying he said that, don't you? Schmitty.
There it is, Jones, Goddard.
Goddard, the third man up, gets the tap, but it is picked up by Viney. He's run his field measure and a bit more.
By the way, how good is Simon Goodwin telling us the matchup? They're coming off. Very rarely you hear a coach say, yep, we're going to put this player onto that player.
You see that okay, he's run too far. But if you watch, now watch this play.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
That's stiff. That is stiff.
It's 15 metres you have.
Yeah, but that they allow further than that. But the thing I was saying about that, Heppel is a gun. Viney's coasting, but Heppel couldn't catch him.
Vince to Hogan. No one's in the square, so he puts it out in front for the run. The Pigeons and Howe and Gleeson.
Just had some sloppy inside 50 entries this quarter in Melbourne.
Hitchcock won. The Birds.
I think he factored in hitting a pigeon or two with the trajectory of that kick, right?
I wonder if they'll stuff it and put it in the long room.
Now McKernan got rid of Gawn illegally, free kick.
That happened at Lord's, I think, Ed, didn't it? Dennis, the great Dennis Lilly, the Swallow got hit by one of his deliveries, and it's in the Lord's museum.
Well, they might have served it up in the long room, Dan.
I don't know if a pigeon hit by Jeremy Howe and Ted Paul is going to have the same sort of resonance.
There's the push.
Side push.
But it's in a ruck contest. So Gawn, they probably got some Brownlow votes a few weeks ago against the Cats, putting together some ominous signs again today until this point in time.
An ugly hold on the ball then. I mean, the huge hands. The really deft kickers at goal tend to hold the ball, cradle it, and just hold it so lightly.
Then we watching the footy last night, and Dustin Martin kicked the goal, and a bloke in the crowd with a beer in his hand, and like I think he might have had a few already there, he put one through from 20, kicking it back into play off one step. And we've got blokes getting paid $500,000 who can't kick it from 20 metres. It's unbelievable.
Great man.
Edwards. That's what he's capable of. The kid's got some talent. He's got some tricks. You've got to persevere with him. He's going to throw you at the odd ordinary game because that's the type of player he is, and he'll get more consistent the more you play him.
Alex Brown, his father Murray, of course, was the president of the Collingwood Past Players Association. His uncle Jeff Brown, used to run the Nine Network and made most of the rules of the AFL. Life member of the AFL, so from some AFL royalty there. And there he is, gets the handball over the top. Steinberg goes in, and Brown's hurt himself.
Let's hope it's not his knee again.
Let's hope he gets up okay. Might have just hit his head, I think.
He's a bit confused.
All right, we'll have a look. Howe gets it in the meantime, kicks it down the line. So a vital ball this time. Watts fighting for the ball, does well. Oh, that could have been a knee too.
Oh, yeah.
And an ankle. And Watts is in a bit of trouble. His leg was pinned and he's down as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Kingy's down on the boundary line, keeping a close eye on things as young Brown and also Watts in a bit of trouble. In the meantime, the ball comes out Edwards. Now it spills out to Hibbert. Hibbert's kick is a good one inside. And Standen takes the mark and should almost get 50 for that.
Jackknife there too. He's going to be sore in the leg some way. You watch him, we'll get the replay here. He jackknifes. His knee digs into the ground. looks like he's going to be all right. Would have got a jar out of that.
Yeah, as you said earlier, Dermy made him earn it, did H.
I'll tell you what, there's some concern down here on the boundary side, boys, with Alex Brown. He really got driven into the ground in that tackle on the wing here, and he was basically dragged off the field of play. He's in real trouble.
He staggered over the ropes then, didn't he?
We'll come back to that in a moment. In the meantime, vital kick for Brent Stanton. He's kicked 151, 121 in his career, made that 152, and a vital goal to Essendon coming at the 8.5-minute mark.
Great strike. Yeah, fingers crossed for the boy Brown. Let's have a look at the tackle. Now, watch him get driven here. Watch his head.
Is this a sling tackle? No. You wouldn't have thought.
How do you know it?
I don't know. I'm asking. And this is
watch his ankle.
Yikes.
Oh,
yeah, stretched it out.
It's uncomfortable getting caught in that situation.
And watch Stanton's knee dig in.
And his ankle there.
Oh, yes.
Gets pinched.
This is dangerous 2 or 3 minutes out there.
Are we sure that isn't a sling tackle? Isn't that exactly what we're talking about?
It is, isn't it?
So we're having a look here. The sub, Jason Ashby, is now on. Concussion rule. David King will check this out, but Alex Brown, we think, is only off due to the concussion sub rule. He could actually come back on. Quick hack forward, and here on cue is the sub Ashby. Gave it out to Gwilt. Sends it wide to McKernan. Bombers are hot at the moment. We've got to keep this purple patch running. McKernan flicks it up. Wanted the 1-2. Zach Merritt ignored him. Goes longer. Hooker done. Again, superb.
For front position again. That is a brilliant way of looking of playing as a backman. Now watch here. Gets him. Transfers onto his back. Yeah.
He's still got the ball, hasn't he? And he's got the
he
hands
wants
out.
to take him to ground.
The
I reckon it's intentional. It's not an intentional sling, but that was the action.
Goddard manufactured a handball that was legal in the end. Zaharakis. Hooker held a little by Dunn. Bomber fans screaming. And Hooker screaming. And Dunn bumps him with the chest to the side. Umpire had his back turned. And when he turned around, Hooker was on the deck.
Get up.
Not a lot in it, but not that necessary either, really. But it's on here. There's some spice in this one. Brayshaw bounces it toward the wing. Coming hard, Vandenberg did well to beeline it, keep it alive. Stretch taken over by Bagley. It's lifted a gear.
Let's have a look at Dunn.
Just letting him know he's there. It's a good little performance too by Carl.
Give him a logie for that one.
Maxie, another stat.
Yeah, Gawn got it forward. And getting back and taking the mark is Steinberg.
Now they've got to work hard to the outside. They've got Merritt breaking for them.
And that's where it goes. It was up in the air for a while. Getting a good look at it. And the mark's taken there by Zach Merritt.
Melbourne defenders are ahead of play with discipline to close up those leads.
That's a good kick to Danaher from 55. Needs to kick it. Drag down. Should have been a free kick, was it, or in the back?
Push to the shorts.
Play on, says the umpire. Lumumba gets it out to Dunn. Dunn to halfback.
His awareness.
Now.
Jay Danaher's awareness, like that kick that should have gone to Shawnee Edwards or to run further, and then the non-awareness of how quick the closing tackler was going to be. Just slightly off with game knowledge at the moment and the tempo.
So let's see, did he make contact? He's dropping the ball, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So should have been a free kick.
One or the other in the back or holding the ball.
But his hips shoved forward and his body didn't lurch forward, so that's why they're going to look at that. The whole body didn't lurch forward as a push.
So Vince goes to ground. Did he have the ball? No, says the umpire. Throw it in.
Tell you what, though, we've got the Bombers having a real dig here, and that's what James Hird asked for before the game. Got to give something to the fans here to say this is the reason we come along. We want to see our players have a real dig.
So they don't have the lead, but they have the momentum. If they lose this, the Bombers, they'll drop another spot on the ladder. Melbourne would go past them. Essendon 14th now, 4 wins, 9 losses. Melbourne 15th, 4 wins, 9 losses. Melbourne can climb above the Bombers today. So this is big for the Demons as well to continue their climb, their resurrection as a football club. Merritt tied up. Jackson Merritt this time. Another ball up.
That's a live ladder there.
That's if Melbourne continue to be in front all the way to the final siren, or at the final siren, they'll get the 4 points.
Well, Essendon pressure this quarter is so good. They've reduced Melbourne down to 38%.
Oh, look at that.
Disposal.
Sorry, Derm. Second man up. Watts to Vince to Howe. That was out of the playbook. Beautiful. At training. Of course, at the playbook at training, Howe kicks this goal.
Yeah, but you're playing against witches' hats at training. It's a different thing to do it against league football opposition.
Only took the 3 marks last week, Jeremy Howe, against the West Coast. He's already got a goal today from the goal line. That's what he has ahead of him. Across the face, stays in play, thumped across the boundary line, ball in.
That's all right. Got to be careful there, Essendon. They're allowing too much space in the Melbourne forward line, that last stoppage. No loose man dropping behind. It's playing into the hands of the Melbourne forwards.
Dawes does the ruck work. Danaher slaps it. Ernie Vince will get there and just take it to the boundary line and have another stop play. So throw in at 35 round from the Melbourne goals.
Go on the footy, Mark.
So goal apiece this term as it was in the opening quarter. Dawes again gets front spot, flicks it, no one waiting for it, so the Bombers are able to run it out. It's a wing position, off the hands of the pack, and away goes Shawnee Edwards. What can he do? He's got nothing in front of him except open space and the goals. He kicks it forward, runs, ball bobbles in front of him. Great tackle, great stuff there by Howlett. But Melbourne prevail and save what looked like being a certain goal.
Gee, they're lucky they had Tom McDonald then. McDonald's got real good wheels, and he's the only one who could match him for pace.
Watts to Howe was good football. Garland. Watts has been good so far in this game. Watts back to Garland.
He's had a good last few weeks, eh?
Up towards full forward position, off the hands of the pack there. Garland is lurking with intent. Viney, Hogan is in there as well, diving in. Zaharakis, he's held up, hasn't tried too hard. Umpire Schmidt comes in for a bounce.
Good spot for a ball up for Melbourne here. Too far out for the Bombers to think about rushing it through. Jones dropped it as he was tackled. Gleeson. Zach Merritt gets it outside 50. Stretch had a piece of it but let it through. McDonald got his arms free. Bernie Vince to set it all up. Weaves some magic. Finds a pass option. Top of the square. Laverne.
Good boy.
Beautiful work. The first gamer to Stanton. To Danaher. Now they run for him. He didn't want to go long.
Right foot.
He didn't like the That's probably right. And now on the rebound, Jenner goes short. Jones jiggers it hurt all the way from 50. Misses.
Brent Stanton before, and they just kick it long. I'm sure James Hird be sending some feedback down to the runner to get out to Brent Stanton. Don't be trying kicks like that.
They had the one anchored behind play. I think it was young Billy's stretch was an extra 50 metres directly down the line. Hooker was more to the spine.
Just touched, so it's not out on the full from the kick out. And Joe Danaher, whose right leg is there, only to stop him from falling over.
Yeah, that's about to change. Luke Beveridge has told every Western Bulldogs player, you've got 6 months, find yourself an opposite foot and an opposite hand or you're not playing.
Shouldn't have been told that when you're 8.
Oh, great hands.
Anyway. Zaharakis under pressure. Watts has been good again. Just got inside Heppel. Been tagged out of it this quarter so far. Viney.
Hands are good in close here.
Bernie Vince from 52. He just hooked it out, trying to get the extra distance. He's kicked it out in the full. But the intensity is there from Melbourne at the moment after Essendon had it in the first 5 minutes.
No doubt about that, Ed. They've definitely controlled this early part of or certainly the first half of this second quarter. But they need to be able to hit the scoreboard, Ed. Still only 1 goal this quarter.
Big fly down at her. Couldn't quite bring it to ground. Dyson Hempel. Zaharakis. Open space. He's got the hooker one-on-one. Puts it out in front of Hooker and Dunn. Dunn drags him down. Looked a little in the backish. Umpire said keep going. Howlett to Gleeson. No one's in the square. Had to go back. Wait for the cavalry to arrive.
There's no one forward. They've got to go short.
Hooker caught again. Flicks it out to Ashby. The sub who's still on. Steinberg.
That is well defended by Melbourne.
So Gwilt thumps it. He's now got Hooker back inside 50. McDonald. Fantastic fist. Didn't quite get it out. Hempel up against the line. Howlett let it slip through his grasp. Knocks it out towards Gleeson. Tried the shimmy. Caught. Gone. No.
Second tackle came in too high.
Got to be careful here. Edwards is on his own forward of the ball. They can just spot him.
Been threatening to take the lead for 10 minutes, the Bombers. High. Edwards, big piece. Gone. Big crumb. Merritt stalking it. Stanton watches little handball. Fantastic tackle in the end. Again, we talked about Garland last week. 10 tackles. That was huge.
Well done by Essendon. Really good heat, really good pressure. Melbourne, 18 months ago, would not have been able to defend like that. That was fantastic.
Great stuff by Jeff Garland. Didn't overcommit, just did what he had to do. Two really good tackles there, forced the out of bounds. Vince volleys it, touch play on, said the umpire. Hooker just slams it on the boot, inside 50 it goes again. Ball just sits awkwardly. Good play again there by Edwards, and it's knocked by Vince to the boundary line for a throw-in. So throw-in. 35 metres round from the Bomber goal. 4 points of difference, as you can see, in a low-scoring affair, but plenty of intensity and spirit in this game. Merritt's kick, touch play on Vince. Nice little handball there to stretch.
11 possessions for the quarter to Bernie Vince.
Jones kicks just to the right spot. That was a beautiful kick, and Vandenberg met it full chest and had marked it half back. So Vandenberg didn't quite get onto it, but he's kicked it up towards the wing position. Flying high was Dawes, couldn't quite hold it. The fall of the ball, good play coming through there was Neil Bullen. Viney has it held up, will have a bounce on centre wing.
That kick, you're right, it didn't get great penetration by Vandenberg, but what you've got is a big 6'5", 105 kilo key forward who comes up just to give the contest, so now it's locked up.
There he is again on cue. Vandenberg gave it to Cross, and there's the spare man for the Bombers. They've got an extra one waiting for the long kick forward. Bagley.
Just watching Brendan Goddard, Daniel Cross is absolutely following him every step that he moves. He's just going forward now from a wing down here, and Cross is right next to him. He's getting quite frustrated, Brendan. Hasn't had the impact this quarter that he had in the first.
Only had one possession this quarter, King. Brendan Goddard.
Now,
that's the 50.
Why was he standing shoulder to shoulder? You're not allowed to do that for the man on the mark.
He's standing in front of him, man on the mark. Exactly.
The umpire should say clear away, but he probably, look, if you touch the head or above the neck,
throw him.
There's the hands we were after.
Derm, you should be allowed to do that if the bloke stands in front of him on the mark like that. Just throw him out of the way.
Hey, in the world of common decency, I reckon there's plenty you should be allowed to do.
So this is the money shot here for Danaher.
No argument from Jonathan Brown.
You're right, though.
Just said
for a young man, he really is. I mean, Hooker's great value, but he's playing his second game up forward. This is the senior figure on the forward line. Regardless of age, he must kick this.
Has to kick it for the lead. That is massive for Joe, Hurdy and the Bombers. They're in front.
Yeah, well done. He's able to go back and survive that pressure. He would have had plenty of sleepless nights over the last couple of weeks with his set shot goal kicking. Of course, he started the season very well with his goal kicking, but just the last 3 or 4 weeks he's missed a few letters. Great take. Contested, mate. Look, he's one of the young up-and-coming stars of the competition. Of course, he's under a hell of a lot of pressure at the moment. You'd love to see a senior forward around him. I think Cale Hooker coming down to the forward line will help that, but to go back and kick a goal like that, the rest of his game should be able to flourish. That's a big confidence builder.
Did you see Lyndon Dunn just twiggle the hips just before he went for the mark, which normally for lighter frame forwards is enough to put them off.
So Joe Danaher suddenly a huge weight off his shoulders, and that 50-metre penalty cost Melbourne. So umpire Schmidt throws it up, didn't get much air on that one, but it comes down to Jones. The kick from Garland, a high up and under. Oh, beautiful mark. Curley has been great today. That's a good kick too. Penetrating kick out wide. They've got the run here. So the Bombers throw O'Brien. Handball over the top. Zaharakis twists and turns, gets back onto his right foot, up towards Stanton. Punched away from him at the fall of the ball, though. Good play by McKernan. Now it's on for Stanton. It sits for him. Looks up to the forward pocket, looking for Danaher. They all flew before acceptances. And over the line it goes. I'm doing a bit of retro quality tonight, boys.
Well, it was a good lead by Joey Danaher. The kick was just a bit high for him there.
It is two of the original teams, MCG Saturday afternoon, Ed.
Oh, yeah. Once upon a time, the Bombers used to play at the East Melbourne ground across the street. Here's a chance for the Bombers now. No, they fumbled it over the line through Howler for a rush behind. Yeah, the original home ground of the Essendon Football Club was about 25 metres further down at the city end.
Well, bounce in the deck didn't quite work for Garland. And Garland goes back, gets it. McDonald got it from Tyson, kicks it longer to Gwilt though, or just over Gwilt's head, and that'll work. They get a ball in, 50 from goal.
It's good outcome there. Dawes was led up with the kicker, and he actually missed him with that one, put it over his head. Lucky that Gwilt didn't end up with the ball there.
We'll check out what's going on sub-rule wise, concussion sub-wise as well very shortly with David King. Tyson in the meantime, the Bernie Vince, another possession, that one half smothered. Jackson Merritt got back. Cale Hooker caught, one arm, he threw it away, gone. Too long, Vandenberg.
Yeah, Dwayne, the boy Vandenberg, he's a willing tackler, he's like an anvil. He's just built to be punished. He's going to throw himself in there and you can hammer him, you can bang away at him, but he is just going to keep fronting up and give you the physical side of AFL. Just claws onto that right mid and creates the cough up.
Yeah, it's old style. 22-year-old from Canberra gets his chance out of nowhere. Is he prepared to bite someone's arm off to get a game? Keeps it low, sneaks it in. On the blink of an eye, Melbourne back in front.
Yeah, great finish there, Dwayne. That's been the problem early in the quarter for Melbourne. They've dominated the play, but haven't been able to hit the scoreboard. That time, Vandenberg was able to kick the goal. You see there where he fights for that arm in the replay of this tackle where he gets caught holding the ball. This is what AFL players are drilled to do now, is fight for that arm. Fight for that arm, and obviously, hopefully, it's incorrect disposal because players are so good now at getting their hands free and being able to handball to a free teammate. Well done, well executed, something they work on all the time, especially throughout the pre-season months.
Fifth change of lead in this game so far. We've played 25 minutes into the second term. As you can see, 3:41 left on the clock. McKernan gets a tap. Goddard got away on that occasion. Good play, ran to the right spot. It was well worked. Kicked inside 50. But Lumumba gets the ball and goes for a little dash. Gets it off to his former premiership teammate Dawes. Back to Jones. Jones gets the handball out wider still. Now it's Watts on to Dawes, who kept running. He bombs it inside 50. Up towards the full forward zone. Good play by Hurley. At the fall of the ball, it's Howe. He gets the handball back. The snap from Neil Ball is up to the goal square. Was it a mark? No. Garland not paid. Good tackle. He just dropped it. Could have got another free kick. So too Viney from the back. No, says the umpire. We'll have a bounce.
A couple of borderline free kicks there, Ed.
Right on the edge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Essendon fought hard though. Well done to keep him out.
Yep, good stuff. Good umpiring. Right on the edge it was. Let him fight it out. It's good stuff. It's Stanton who gets the clearance, and a good clearance it was too. Gets the handy bounce and finds the boundary line, and in the end he's probably picked up about 70 metres there. So let's have a look at Garland again. There's the little kick around the corner. Hard one to mark these. Front spot. Nearly had enough of it. Not quite.
There was less paid last night though, Ed.
And none paid the night before.
Very nice. Just a quick three-word editorial from Eddie Maguire. Editorial, that is, from Eddie Maguire. Goddard, in the meantime, to Stanton. It's a 1-on-2. And the one is Ambrose, thumped towards the boundary. And we'll get a ball in with 2:36 left to half-time. But it's been a fantastic second term. Was congested, was tight, and a lot of it was ugly in the opening term. It's opened up a bit in this second quarter. McKernan palms it down, but Dawes steals it. Howe playing in front. And now they run for him. Neil Bullen sprinting to the square. Lumumba through the centre circle. Neil Bullen wants it long. Lumumba back all the way home from 80 out on the full.
Just having a look, Brownie, it looks like the D's have given up on tagging Brendan Goddard at the moment. They've released Daniel Cross to Zaharakis at half-back, which is a strange move, given the effect that he had in the early part of the second term.
So Hurley calls Hook as he'd come forward to take the mark here. He kicked it beautifully in position, just couldn't quite hold it. So good play by Hurley, who's directing traffic.
It's a good call, King. Normally very reluctant if a tag is working to drop away from that last night. We saw that Dustin Martin wasn't tagged after being tagged out of it in round 1 against Carlton. They opted not to tag him, and he got away and played quite well last night. So doing it at your own peril, some of the coaches.
Kingy, Vince has gone to him. Are they trying to run off him at the moment, or are they just relieving the tag for the last 5 minutes?
Well, maybe they thought they lost their midfield proactivity, possibly, and Cross has been changed out of there. Vince is a good matchup.
All right, Brayshaw slams it forward. Hogan's going to have to run here. Hurley's tracking the ball close to the boundary line. Does it well. Gets a nice shepherd as well. Hurley goes for distance and for the boundary line. And what will the umpire say here? Deliberate, yeah. That was actually called by the umpire in the middle of the ground, not the umpire close to the boundary line. It was umpire Smith who made the call. In the meantime, it goes forward. Hogan goes up high at the back of the pack with a minute 18 on the clock. Essendon holding on at the moment.
So Ashby, the sub, still having an impact. It stays in, tucked up against the boundary. Harms! Oh! From outside the boundary, Harms!
He showed a bit, this kid, Dwayne.
Was he out of bounds?
He's in the front row.
And young James Harms, in his first game from Devon Meadows and Dandenong. His mum and his sister overseas watching it on television over there, probably on AFL.com. So I hope they're enjoying their son playing his first game of football and brother. Great stuff. Back it comes to Jones on the left boot. Kicks it inside 50. Plenty of bombers, but they mucked it up in the end. The ball spills. Neil Bullen gets it across. Vandenberg just slams it on the boot, which is as good as anything at the moment. Gleeson close to the boundary line. Hooker keeps it in. He might want to take it out. Handballs. Hogan's going to get there. No, he won't. A thrust through for a behind.
He certainly wanted it to go out of bounds there.
Yeah.
Hooker, but the umpire wouldn't play the game.
29 seconds left. Maybe not time enough for Essendon to take the lead or get a score. Time enough for a turnover, though. High, McDonald, Jones, a drop kick, Harms, and towed off the deck. 15 seconds, ball in. There he is again, Nathan Jones. 29 possessions last week, most of anyone on the ground against the West Coast Eagles in Darwin. Just keeps on keeping on. He's being tagged at the moment by O'Brien. Vince, Brayshaw, Jetta bumped on the kick. Dawes can't get there. Steinberg dragged it in. Didn't complete the mark. Seconds tick down to 1. Half-time in a sea-soaring clash. Scores were level at quarter-time. Just 1 goal apiece at quarter-time. It's 3 goals apiece at half-time, but the Demons lead 3-9 to 3-4. Still anyone's contest, 14th and 15th on the AFL ladder.
Yeah, look, I think James Hird would be relatively happy with that. They were able to scrap and fight, especially coming off a 100-point loss last week. Melbourne would be a little bit disappointed. They dominated the possession there, 65% forward half that quarter for Melbourne. They just weren't able to hit the scoreboard with some goals. You can see here 3 goals, 9 to 3-4.
Cancer, challenge kids living with cancer. 24 kids have escorted the Essendon players out today, and it's all about making a difference for their quality of life.
And thank God Adam Remeneskis here watching the game and in full health.
Yes,
great stuff. Wonderful
absolutely.
stuff.
Second half underway, been tight from the outset. Howlett to McKernan, fends off. Flick down, Heppel, crunched after knocking it down O'Brien. Zach Merritt gets it inside 50. Edwards overran it. Hooker still playing forward. Wrapped up by Dunn again. Shoots its way out. Jackson Merritt off the carpet. Rolls it across the face of goal. McDonald bumped on the kick. Race on. Hibbert got there first. A little don't argue push off on the first game of Harms. Overcooked his handball. Edwards dragged down. We'll get a ball up on attacking 50. Biggest margin of the game to Melbourne, 9 points. Biggest margin of the game to the Bombers, 3 points. It's been tight from the outset.
Yeah, we've got a great game on here. Gawn slaps it out. The Bombers, Stanton goes make that hit, it goes to the boundary line and the throw in.
David King, straight out from in front of you. We were talking at halftime, what would you do with the key forward set up for Melbourne? I think Dawes has got a better matchup against Wilt in one-on-ones, so you want him deeper, and Hurley's doing pretty well, and you want the ball travelling over his head. And we're already seeing now on this stoppage, Hogan just almost lays the tackle. He's dragged Hurley.
Danaher takes the mark.
Danaher's great mark there, but at the other end, you're seeing him take Hurley up to try and get lost in traffic.
All right, so Joe Danaher.
Good signs, Ed. Second big contested mark.
And a clutch kick now. Take us through the kicking style here. What does he need to do, Jono?
Well, he's got to keep it pretty straight. The tendency here for Joe will be to run out to the left, but that certainly lowers the margin for error. So you'd like to see him running as straight as he possibly can at goal. When you're nervous and under pressure, you tend to slow down your run up. So he needs to keep good momentum low and through the ball.
So good straight run up, and the kick is coming back. It's a goal. That's what he needed. He gets it the big pump as well. Joe Danaher kicks his second. He's up now. He's ready to go.
Look at him come to him.
Have a look at this. It's like he's kicked his 100th.
That is a real strong show of emotion.
It's amazing that confidence builder. He was able to survive the pressure in that second quarter, go back and kick a set shot turn after he's been under a lot of pressure.
Watch Jackson Merritt come to him. He almost swings himself off his feet, going for the high five. He's that excited.
We just look at some of his misses over the last few weeks, and certainly from a lot lesser distance out there, should have been able to put those through. But you see here, he's running out to the left a little bit. You lose your margin for error. He's able to keep it straight in the run back.
And Howlett gets the clearance back in his direction again. Garland got back, loose man in defence, and he pumps it wide.
All by Shawnee Edwards.
Watts.
2 metres, Jason, play on!
And he thumps it for Howe maybe to go up from 4 deep. Garland, he reached. Tries to fend off on Stanton. The 1-2 with stretch is good. And he centres the kick. Howe forward through hands. Neil Bullen was waiting for it. Hurley tackled by Neil Bullen. Vince, outstanding first half. Dragged down from behind. How does the umpire see that? He saw it as play on. Right in the back, not ball. McDonald sidestep. He hits the hot spot. Hogan. So good news and bad news early for the Bombers. I'll let David King bring you some bad news shortly, but in the meantime, we'll watch Jesse Hogan. I think they may have jumped with their sub for the game. King, are you downstairs?
Yes, they have jumped with their sub, Dwayne. Unfortunately, through concussion, Alex Brown is out of the game. So Jason Aspey will stay in the contest now after the 20 minutes has lapsed.
So they're one man down now, the Bombers. They have the lead. And now they don't even have that. Melbourne steal it back again.
Well, you saw Hurley clear. He kicked the ball out. It got turned around. He just couldn't get back quick enough to get the reference point next to Hogan, and never got touch on him again. 2 grab marks. So Hurley's kicked that out there. He's trapped. You see, he's gone back there, top of the square. And that kick does him, puts it right out into space.
Great kick, wasn't it, by Tom McDonald? Identified there that Hogan was free. Gave him a nice run and jump at it. Hogan's been quite early. He's done a pretty good job, but that'll be a big confidence builder like Danaher at the other end.
Gee, that's awful news for young Brown.
Alex Brown, he's just first going back down from a knee reconstruction.
Yeah.
Basically,
he's full of so much hope coming into it and what I can do and what
so
I'm
hard.
going to do, and then just to have it snuffed out.
And a wonderful young bloke he is too, so let's hope he gets himself right and gets back into this Bomber attack in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, it's Edwards who tries to crash through. By the way, you mentioned McDonald a moment ago with that kick, Brownie. He has been fantastic today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a really good year, Ed, that's for sure. He's a tremendous athlete, very fit and very fast as well.
So, ball up at half forward flank. Zaharakis flicks it out. Good play. Hibbert had it and lost it and got it back again. Now he looks up. Bombs it inside 50. Looking for big hooker. He comes in. Big pack. Danaher's got it in amongst all that. They all fell around him. Jack in the pack was Joe in the pack. And Joe Danaher gets his chance as McDonald struggles to get up.
Went through his hands and hit him in the chest before he knew it, and then he has to cling onto it that way. What's this?
Look at this one come in. Good kick.
What you really like, he's jumping up at the footy. He's using his height. He's using his reach. Now can he finish again?
He had the big wind-up and celebration after the last kick. This is vital. Put the Bombers back in front. From 55, he gives it a beautiful roost and splits the middle. It's Danaher Day at the MCG. Joe Danaher.
Just shows you goal kicking is such a confidence thing. Get asked all the time, don't we, why is goal kicking not improved? Well, there's a simple answer. It's between the ears. It's got nothing to do with technique. Well, it does have something to do with technique, but it's can you survive the pressure and keep your technique consistent every time. But now he's got his confidence back, Joe. He looks like a different goal kicker. He's approaching his kicks a lot more. Look at that momentum. Look at the ball drop. All his weight is forward and through the ball. And that cleared the goal umpire's hat quite easily.
Well, he's hitting the centre of the foot with the ball as well.
As opposed to hitting his knee last week.
Essendon are hoping it is something to do with technique. Otherwise, they're wasting their money on Matty Lloyd. Brayshaw. Another high kick inside 50. Steinberg. Oh, ugly handball if it was even that. Bernie Vince got it from Dawes. And that could have been the instant reply to an instant reply.
Bad miss.
Dawes has gone to full forward now. They've identified he's a better chance against Wilt in the one-on-ones for the deep ball.
And Bernie Vince normally eat those ones up. He's kicked two behinds today. Wilt from the back pocket to Hibbert. Hibbert's kick up the line is a good one. Hooker clipped his feet.
Once again, front spot. Yep. He just slides into front spot, 192 centimetres up against Big Cale Hooker, who is 197. So he's giving away 2.5 inches in the old 5 centimetres. What we're talking about now.
Hooker was trying to just hope that it would bounce over, but Dunn did well to get to the fall of the ball. And a good tackle there from Brayshaw allows Vince to now bomb it long into the square. Hogan's there as well, getting back and taking the mark is Hurley, who's played a great game this afternoon.
That's why you want Hurley dragged up to play, because the long ball, he's out manoeuvring Hogan on any ball that sits in the air for 3 seconds or more.
A nice kick too to Hibbert, who runs outside the 50. So they get up to centre wing, the Bombers from full back. Goddard almost held the mark. Vince again at the full of the ball, looks up, sees the lead. You can see that beautifully. Brayshaw, handball over the top. Cross, spills out. Lumumba can't get a hold of it. Picked up there by Vandenberg. This comes inside the cross again to Vince, who just slams it on the boot up to the forward zone. Dawes is being held. Umpire said play on. Ball fumbles, bumbles, finally comes out from Merritt. Kick from Bagley. Beautiful kick it is too. O'Brien marks on his chest. He's got runners inside. Now they can go. It's picked up by Edwards from 55. A flying shot at the goal! That's why he said, give it to me early, because I'll put it through. And he does. And the Bombers go to the lead.
He's a talent. He is a real talent, this kid. I've got to go to the other end of the ground. Jeffrey Garlett allowed Bagley, there he is, to charge at the footy. And then he allowed him to get up off the ground and get the run and receive. Oh, I was full of praise for Jeffy last week. That effort, or that lack of effort, created the initial run out of the back line for the Bombers. And Shawnee Edwards, all that talent I've been telling you about, that's a super, super strike.
Just his third game for the season, Shaun Edwards, and he is growing before our eyes. This is the biggest lead the Bombers have had for the afternoon, and they are full of run and confidence. Goddard to Gleeson. Takes on the old man cross. Sends it long. Where's Joe? Big pack flies. Laverty crashed it. The first game of getting involved. Garland. And Gleeson has cross-weighted for it. Dumps it out.
Oh, the Bomber fans are up, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely now the atmosphere has lifted, hasn't it?
Oh,
definitely a momentum swing here.
They were antsy before the game. They wouldn't even have a fight with Dermot coming in the car park, Dermot. You're getting a bit of lip from the old Essendon fans. They've got long memory, some of you, these blokes. Gleeson caught one in the chops. Umpire said hi.
Some of their kids have lifted, Ed. A couple of really important spoils from Gleeson, from Ashby. Just giving them repeat opportunities.
Pace giving Gleeson going forward as well was really important.
Ended up giving it to Ambrose. Heppel absolutely being tagged by Viney. Look at that. He's still got the kick out. Great play. Ball spills, and a kick at the goal by O'Brien is through for a behind.
Bit on this for Melbourne as well. 15th on the ladder, they could climb to 14th and be a chance to finish with their best season finish for 9 years.
That's not a great kick.
Turnover through hands, perhaps. Laverty. Sidestep was clever. Zaharakis hits the hot spot. Hooker up, done. Eggs him out with a big chest manoeuvre. McDonald, no one to kick to. Hemmett. The lead from Hooker again. He sits it on Danaher's head. He's out. Oh, not the second grab. Tried to get a flick kick away. Dunn got a hand on it. Driven into the deck by Goddard. Bomber fans up. They want ball. They don't get ball. They get a ball up.
Ball, and they are stiff there, the Bomber fans. He deliberately held that in and disguised I'm making an effort here, umpire. He wanted to have nothing to do with letting that ball get out.
He being Lyndon Dunn has gone, gets the tap. Oh, look at the ball just bouncing around. It's picked up by Hooker. Bouncing ball is through for a behind. So Hooker now has 3 behinds.
Essendon have been able to get back into the game by getting control of the clearances. Melbourne dominated Essendon in the second quarter with the clearances. However, though, Essendon now 7-2 this quarter.
Well, they were also 23-14 contested possessions in this quarter.
So Dunn again taps it to himself and gets a fair bit of meterage as well. Handball was a good one. McDonald. Now the kick is important. It goes over the head of Garland, but it comes off. So Vandenberg kicks up the line. This is important bounce, this one. Which way will it go? Garland did well. Ran down his opponent. Held it up nicely. Garland comes into the rescue. Now it's Garland. He runs in. He can go all the way here. Jeffy decides to just hesitate and go for the banana. He's kicked it out in the full.
Good chase there by Bagley. He's been pretty good, Bagley, hasn't he, on Garland?
He was almost on a leg rope to the boundary line.
Yeah, he needed to just take off.
But the one thing, the ball when it first came in, Bagley led him to the ball. So he's not switched on. He doesn't have the same intensity of 7 days ago, Jeff.
Long kick. Howe stands under it. Essendon with all the momentum. Howe thumps it back, goal square. Hogan's down there. Hurley used his body. Hogan almost. Jones almost. Dawes almost. Behind.
You kick the goal in the 2010 grand final like that one.
You're giving away something with size and shape. Yeah, good on you.
I did. I'm just saying you did.
Believe you. Which one?
Slightly bigger crowd.
You give away something, and that's the dexterity to actually pull that back from that little bit of a sharper angle.
And ball coming back now, Bernie Vince.
Rare kicking mistake there by Brendan Goddard, albeit on his left foot.
Off one step, Bernie just kicks it in. Hibbert punched away from him, and another throw in. 30 metres around from the Melbourne goal.
Another poor entry there, Ed. That ball needs to go to the top of the goal square.
If Vince off one step, he was never going to get anywhere. That kick. So the throw in. Dawes gets the tap. It comes down to Jones. Just grabbed as he had his kick. High up in the air. Play on, says the umpire. No, 15. So the big punch comes from everywhere. The Bombers get it out to defensive 40. Viney is thrown to the ground. Is in the back and high. I think it was all that. The umpire paid nothing.
Play it down the goal square as well.
Thanks, Jack.
Howe. Still.
Has got an ankle there, hasn't he? He's got up limping. As you can see in the yellow boots to the right of screen. Ball up. Dawes just gets the tap. It was McKernan who roved it.
Well done.
Good play on the outside of the boot. Kicks a banana out to the centre wing position. This is a vital contest here, and the Bombers get it through Heppel. Geez, a good player. And Danaher kicks up the line. Now Edwards has got plenty of dash. So too Lumumba. Lumumba gets there first, and once the boundary line finds it, the umpire says throw it in. Watch how here in the yellow boots. In the goal square.
Now see, I've been out there. That turf, there are seams in that turf. That is newly laid.
Gee.
There are seams in it. It's been rolled out. If you look at the centre strip right down the corridor.
He's coming from the ground now, Derm. He's actually injured that ankle, as you called.
If you ever look at it, they are rolled out bits of turf, and you can see the seams in them there. And it is not perfectly, it's not bowling green flat.
I wonder if that has been laid out for the soccer games here in a couple of weeks' time.
It needs a good roller on it.
It's almost a waste of time replacing the corridor in football these days. You might as well replace the wings.
You put a trench in.
Lumumba towards Vandenberg. Gorn, the crummer, and got away from Ambrose. Now Hurley should gobble this up and relaunch the Bombers.
It's a good point you make, though, Jonathan Brown, about the soccer coming here, because they had representatives from the international teams inspecting the ground here a couple of weeks ago.
They want the seams fixed up then, according to David Burton.
I think so.
Howell landed like a cat, was away. Good rake in, Jackson Merritt. Hits the hot spot, Stanton. Danaher! Well played, Stanton. Could have put an arm up, maybe got a touch on it. Danaher was on a full tilt lead. And Joe has his kicking boots on and his confidence up.
Well, if he kicks this to one, they've got to look at maybe potentially making a change. Danaher's done a reasonable job, on hooker. However, McDonald's starting to get his lowest colours lowered by Joey Danaher here for his fourth.
He's coming to the ball. He just keeps coming to the ball, presenting this quarter.
For the biggest lead of the game to either team for 4 straight for Joe.
Well done. 4th straight. Fantastic effort by the young fella. He's been able to bounce back today, that's for sure, with his set shot goal kicking. But it's been, some of his movements been very good for a guy. We've seen him down the bottom here against Tom McDonald. Pulls the arm. Great move there to help get some separation. When he rolled around the back, McDonald threw that arm out. Now, yes, people might call that illegal, but that's great forward craft. He grabs the hand, turns him around, and by the time Tom McDonald recovers, Danaher is already on the lead and has been able to get 2 or 3 metres out there. Nice uncontested mark. Really good finish. Well done, Joe Danaher.
Yeah, well, we cursed McDonald. We said how well he was playing. Since then, Danaher's kicked 3 goals on him. 4 for the game.
You just feel that they're trying to put some excitement into their good work too. Real positive feedback for the group when Danaher kicks his goals. There's a big roar, there's a big laugh, high fives everywhere. A little bit of West Indian cricket team about them today. It's fantastic to see.
So good slap on. 4 goals to Joe Danaher in this match. 3 in this quarter. Bombers have kicked the last 3 goals. It's the best run of either side today so far. And as Dwayne Russell mentioned, game high 13-point lead to the Bombers. So they need to get the next one, the Demons, to just stay in contention here at the moment. It's a low-scoring affair. Goddard from 48 metres bangs it long to up towards the goal square, bounces awkwardly, now over the line for a throw-in.
So just a snapshot overview of what's happening in the Essendon forward half. When the ball is somewhere inside, in the middle of the ground, between the 250s, Essendon are just playing a 4-man forward line. And the D's are just going with 4 defenders.
Heppel free kick. He read the tap beautifully. He knew Gordon was going to get the tap. He watched his hand, got to the dangerous spot, and then copped the little high tackle and will line up from 15 metres out on the slide angle. Angle being tightened up a little bit now. But Dyson Heppel, watch this. He just read it beautifully, got to the right spot, and Viney grabbed him by the hair and the shoulder, and a free kick.
Massive kick.
So Heppel comes in, the superstar from Bomberland, puts it right through the middle. They've kicked 4 in a row.
What they have done as well is take 12 clearances to 3 this quarter.
It's been the opposite of the second quarter, hasn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
The intensity was really good early. Finally, he's done a pretty good job all day, actually, on Heppel. It's the first time he's made a mistake, really. Definitely there, though, that free kick. Just look more lively across the field, more run, especially forward of the ball. The Melbourne forwards seem to be very reactive, not playing in front.
Goddard 3 clearances this quarter.
Danger signs now, 19 points the margin. Handball over the top, straight to Heppel. That didn't work. Not a lot working for Melbourne in this third quarter. We've kicked into time on.
That's another big pack.
Ambrose doing the ruck work against the taller Gorn. Hibbert, Sharks. Gleeson full of run. Dashed away. Bounce, and now the kick forward. And Hooker can't get there in time. Garland cuts it off.
Getting some good run off half-back now, Essendon as well.
He's given them some wheels, Gleeson, out of that half-back line you talked about, Brownie.
Yeah, he moves well.
Vandenberg, free kick.
Boy from Croydon. He's actually a second cousin of mine, dude.
Is he?
Really? Yeah.
And related to?
Humphrey Gleeson, Adrian Gleeson.
He is, of course. Ball wide, close to the boundary.
Former great Carlton Premiership player and current Carlton board member.
And his mum was a bushel, is that correct?
I think so.
And of course, you're a mug of him, which relates you to the Pickens.
Yeah, that's right.
We're getting too deep now. Stanton and Steinberg. Steinberg, Stanton. Back pocket, drives it wide. Hurley under it. Hogan missed it completely. Jackson Merritt kept it in. Hurley can go. Needs to be precise with his kick. He's got Danaher short or a longer option. Goes over the top to Danaher on the run. Dragged down, didn't have it. Can have a shot from there for number 5.
This will be the toughest kick out of all of them so far. It's a professional free kick. But it's a little much it to him. He's still running goalward.
Least pressure of all the kicks, but he goes to Heppel.
Well done. Good kick.
Screaming at teammates there. Jack Viney probably wanted to chop out, wanted some space guarded.
I think Heppel's gone to spend a little bit more time forward now. Viney's been able to get the better of him for most of the day, but of course he did kick a goal only a couple of minutes ago, Heppel.
This would be a sign if he kicked it from there. He didn't even hit the right side of the ball.
He sent it.
Dawn just stands under it. A good spot to hit and disguised it well there.
It did.
Just as that's happening, boys, Jesse Hogan just made his way from the field. What looks like to be a lower left leg issue. It might be an ankle or a calf.
All right, we'll come back to you in a moment there. Kingy, as diving on the top of it is Jackson Merritt. And it's looks like his ankle there. We're just getting a shot from the bench. So, Derm, I wonder if that new grass has caused another ankle injury there.
It's worth getting a look at.
Yeah, well,
We can get out there at some stage.
Essendon running bounce before as well, which didn't sit, was on that bit of turf as well. We had Death Valley at Etihad Stadium a few years ago. So the kick out of the pack, McDonald gets up and takes the mark. Read it well.
What's happening now is Goddard's been so good around the clearances. He's got 4 for the quarter. It's allowed Heppel a little bit of time forward, so he's taking the shorter Jack Viney into the forward line.
So we've got 4.5 minutes to go. You reckon Melbourne have to kick one here to get in contention? They've only kicked 4 for the match. They'll need to kick 4 in the last quarter to win it. So Garland, big 4 minutes. Garland does well, then he runs into trouble. He's coughed it up. Merritt gets the handball going. Heppel's been dynamic. Now the ball comes inside 50 up towards Danaher. No, it's Edwards at the back. Sean Edwards just snuck into him, your man.
Bit of hang time there, wasn't it? Big Maxie gone. You can still see him out there trapped exactly where he got skittled in a marking attempt. See him in the back shot almost. There he is, walking towards it. He's only got up 10 seconds before that and hasn't moved. Well, if he wasn't injured, he could have got back to it.
Edwards to really put a gap in this game. He comes in, he's full of confidence. He's kicked his second. Look at that. Sean Edwards says, thank you very much.
Such a momentum game, AFL football these days, and Melbourne to be really kicking themselves. The second quarter, they dominated play, weren't able to hit the scoreboard, certainly not able to hit the goals. However, when the momentum's turned in the favour of Essendon, they've been able to take their opportunities. We see that nicely there by Essendon. Good jump by Hooker, at least created a little bit of space behind. Edwards was able to come in. What I like is the space in the Essendon forward line. Yeah. Plenty of room to work in at the moment. Melbourne needs to identify that and certainly get a spare to block up that space. See Hogan here. Not sure.
No problem with the grass there for Hogan. So the ankle injury, 5 in a row to the Bombers, and they've done it in the last 18 minutes.
Vandenberg attacks it. Massive danger signs now for the Demons. When the two teams clashed last year, Melbourne came from behind at half-time and three-quarter time to win that one. They're going to have to do likewise here. Jones heads wide. Howe edged out of it. Hibbert kept his feet. Howe went to ground. Turns and screams at the umpire. Heppel turns and looks at the ball. Inside the handoff. Standen. Ambrose. He's got Laverty forward. And the poke pass is not great. Hooker crashes it to the ground. McDonald makes it somebody else's problem. Hibbert.
So inside 3 minutes left in this third term. It's been all Essendon since the 6-minute mark. 5 goals on the trot. 2 to Danaher, 2 to Edwards and 1 to Heppel. Brayshaw over the top.
Hang on, son.
Danaher couldn't quite hold it. Now the ball spills out. Harms in his first game for Melbourne kicks forward and Dawes marks it. 55 out. Has to wait. Hogan is back on the ground. Decides to kick it long to the goal square. Garlett's his man. Good play there for the Bombers by Bagley, and it's through for behind.
Terrific defender, Mark Bagley. He's had a pretty good year here. Tough matchup on Garlett. Yeah,
good scrapper.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I just said, hang on, son. The young lad, Neil Bullen, the one thing he can do when you get 2 hands on somebody is hang on to the tackle. He let his opponent just waltz through it.
Ambrose. Steinberg. Heppel. Just taking it on now, the Bombers. Full of confidence. No one to bomb too forward. Ambrose sits it up, but again, there wasn't a lot there for him. And he sits it up for Watts to attack it. 2 minutes left. Watts. Not sure what he wanted to do there, and I'm not sure he's sure either.
Substitution
Might have a substitution as well for the Demons, so they've jumped. Kennedy Harris is their sub. They're going to go for it, even though there's only 1 minute and 30 left in 3/4 time. Paul Rue's not going to wait. Viney to Tyson. And he puts it out for Watts to go and run and get it. Clock ticks down to 1:30. McDonald. Hunted down by Gleeson. Oh, he shook him nice. Puts it inside 50. Hoping for a mark from Dawes. Tough angle, but a huge kick.
See, when Hurley gets taken away from this inside 25 area, anybody they throw at Chris Dawes is outsized.
That looks like the most likely matchup for Melbourne. He's on Steinberg at the moment. He's been able to take a couple of contested marks in the last 2 or 3 minutes, Chris Dawes. Critical kick now. Melbourne needs him to kick this if there are any chance to come back from there.
Saw his numbers. Hasn't been a huge day at the office yet. And it's across the face and through for only a behind with 54 seconds left on the clock.
So 3 behinds this quarter to Chris Dawes. And the Demons are 4-13 to Essendon's 9-6. So Essendon 15 scoring shots, 17 scoring shots to Melbourne. And the margin Essendon's way by 23 points. So in the last 45 seconds, they have to get one, the Demons. You reckon they have any chance in this game? Ball up right on the boundary line here.
Been more desperate this quarter, Derm.
Yeah.
They Essendon.
Oh, yeah.
Got to get their clearance game going, Melbourne. You can see there the substitute. Harms, the young fella, the first gamer. He's been taken out of the game. Kennedy Harris in. They need to get more out of these ruck advantages that Gawn is providing. They just can't score from them. They can't break from them at the moment. The clearance is done.
He's actually dropping them very close. It's probably almost worth a go at saying, Maxie, just smack it 10 metres clear of any of the... Watch, see, just shallow drops, and Essendon are there to just smother it up. So they're ready for it. And so, you know how the third man up knocks it 10 metres clear?
Yeah.
Maybe even just get Maxie to just go, bang, get it to the outside, because Melbourne are probably a little bit quicker.
Well, he flicked it over the back, straight down the throat of the Essendon players there. So they got the right spot. Heppel's been fantastic in the last 20 minutes of this game. Look at him go again. He's opened it up. Here's Edwards. 6 seconds and counting. 5, 4, 3. Dribble, won't get there. And not even a rush behind, I wouldn't have thought. Oh, they've given a rush behind. No, they'll count that one.
It was on play, that's right.
Yeah.
Is it too late, though?
No, it was late. I reckon we'll have a look at that one. Doesn't matter. It's 24 points of difference. 9-7-61. Melbourne 4-13-37. The Bombers will take a 4-goal lead into the last quarter here at the MCG.
Spoon winner St Kilda, the biggest ever loss in the football club's history to the Saints.
They've got a habit of standing up with their backs against the wall. Dwayne, Essendon.
Well, it's theirs to lose right now. Demons are on the ropes to start this final term. Viney gets the clearance, thumps it long, and Hibbert.
She's played a good game, hasn't he, Hibbert?
To Quilt. He's got McKernan feeding for him wide. It needs to be a good kick. It's out in front of him anyway, and it's sat delightfully. Short pass. Merritt plays on inside. To half forward. Danaher playing the game of his life. Jetta. And the umpire's found something. It'll come back to Jetta.
Just thought in that third quarter, Ed, Hibbert and Danaher were the two most important players on the ground. Danaher controlled the forward half of Essendon's ground. Hibbert controlled the defensive side of the ground.
Yeah, he's been great, Hibbert. He's just read the ball beautifully, and his strength of body.
He's not small either. People see him and think, oh, look, he's playing on some of the shorter types, so he must be small.
Well, he's played on Gunston this year. He's also played on Memory for St Kilda last week.
He's 186 centimetres. He's about 6'1.5" in the old.
And 60, and he's 90 kilos, dude.
And with a good jump.
And a bit of pace. So Gawn.
A little bit of the nasty streak in his too.
Yeah.
Son of Jeff, who was a nasty man down at Crib Point for years.
Is that right, dude?
Oh, Jeff, big Jeff. Oh, yeah. He had a fearsome reputation. Michael Hibbert's old man, Jeff.
Michael's reasonably tasty as well. Throw in. Forward pocket, Gawn tries to slap it to the back. Garland in there almost. There, free kick to the Bombers. Bagley's. You heard the umpire. Now it's Goddard with the orange boots flashing in the gloom over on the outer side of the ground as he kicks it out to Carl Hooker. Garland is right on his hammer. Oh, Carl just throws him into the turnbuckle and then bangs it inside 50.
Pressure.
Howe punches to the boundary line. Umpire says throw it in.
So you see the value of Goddard's direct kicking coming out. He started with that ball inside defensive 50. The next possession is forward of the centre, some 90 metres up the line.
Back into play. Bombers looking for a knockout blow here. Roll into the boundary. Interesting with that spoil out in the end. It was a marking attempt that was unopposed, under no pressure really, and
I was a little bit worried he was going to go for the chest mark and spill the ball and not be able to get to his feet.
Yeah, and if you've got an uncontested mark, you're actually under the AFL rules of 2 years ago not allowed to just thump it out of play.
2 years going back a while, mate. Yeah. We're lucky if they don't change the rules every quarter.
So Edwards pulls up here, so it's an unopposed mark.
Yeah, it's intentional.
Yeah, I think it needs to be a free kick against her.
Watts. Depends on how many ball ins and ball ups you want, Dan.
We've got too many throw-ins at the moment.
Brayshaw, long bomb. Quilt, McDonald, Quilt. Quilt goes to ground. McDonald to bring life back into it. Dumped. Oh, Carl plays on.
No, he's bringing it back.
Gee, so you're not allowed to have the advantage taken if you want to? Well, Garland looked around. He knew that he had the advantage.
It was an
opportunity, and he went for it.
It was an early call by the umpire.
Dwayne, you're 100% right.
McDonald.
You are.
Garland looked around, thought about it for a second, said, nah, I'm going for it.
You could have cooked the roast dinner between the whistle and the advantage.
Pushed forward now.
And the footy gods are here.
They made that change because Danaher was able to get a hold of Tom McDonald in that third quarter.
There's the whistle. Anyway, in the meantime, the ball spills out to Merritt. Zach Merritt. Now, Watts. This could be the last roll of dice for Melbourne. They've got to get a goal from this foray forward. Up it goes to the full forward position. Off the hands of the pack. Garland is lurking. Hurley thrown to the ground without the ball. Diving in on top of it there was Stretch. And he's held up and well over bounce.
I know there's going to be some players who statistically figure greater than Michael Hurley, but he's putting his hand up for real strong contender for votes here.
It's been great.
Garlett. Heard the umpire. It's going to be a play on call. Gawn tries to slap it over the top. Quilt just waltzes out of full back, if you don't mind. It's Merritt. Oh, dangerous kick. And it's going to be Jenner who will line up 45, probably 47 metres directly in front, or close enough to it anyway.
They're the risks that Essendon don't need to be taking, especially coming out of defence there, Ed. Biting off more than he can chew. They're a fair way front, 24 points in front. They just need to play the boundary, play more conservative football there, the Bombers.
So Neville Jetta has kicked 20 goals, 13 in his career. Needs to kick this to give the Demons any hope in this game. The kick is on its way, and Jetta is the Jet. He kicks the goal, and Melbourne reload and have another go.
Yeah, bad turnover there. Coming out, we see the kick. So Gwilt comes across the face of goal. Zach Merritt, he'd be disappointed with that now. He can understand a little bit why he's gone there, because the Essendon players forward of the ball weren't set up there to get out boundary side, but he still should have kicked it as far as he possibly could towards the boundary line.
Now this is danger for Essendon. They've got Paddy Ambrose relief rucking here against Maxi Gawn. Expect him to target up Tyson or Viney. He's going to outreach him by 2 to 3 feet here.
So Gawn tries the big knock on you suggested earlier, Dermot. Stanton got there, Goddard. We'll pushed out of it a little. Viney, sidestep for 2 within a minute. It's coming, it's coming. Oh, post!
Yeah, that is dangerous in the middle of the ground when you have to go with Ambrose against Gawn. That is a serious size difference.
2 ripping centre breaks so far for Jack Viney, and he might have just missed there. And
you can feel Dwayne winding up there. Imagine if that had gone through. Lifted the roof off the commentary box, Dwayne.
It was a beautiful play.
Push, push. Oh, yeah, what happened was Cale Hooker. So the ball gets turned around to where it was when the push happened further afield.
So the push came before the kick turn.
Yeah, Cale Hooker tried. He just pushed.
Well, the Bomber fans are right up on their toes. Now, McDonald missed, kicked out of bounds from a set shot earlier in this quarter from about 30 metres out. This time from the boundary line, he kicks the poster. They've hit the post twice in their last 2 kicks.
Lost it. Let's have a look. So just watch the very right-hand side of the screen. Push in the back, and now I'm going to lead. The umpire, Schmitty, there he is in the centre, calls it nice and early.
Hurley drives it outside, defensive 50. Hogan had a piece of it, knocked away.
Clearances have become a problem for Melbourne. They're winning clearance after clearance, but they just cannot score. You can just see here the score sources for the day. They've won 38 clearances for a return of 5 behinds. They've actually gone backwards 17 points despite their dominance.
And they get the clearance here on cue, Kingy, to emphasise your point, and Essendon come away with it. Goddard, Laverne, Zach Merritt to Hooker. Garland edged him out. Umpire was right there. Watts, ugly handoff. McKernan, ugly kick attempt, and that one's gone.
Oh, that'll send the Essendon supporters spare.
Did he get a stop on that one, McKernan?
Don't think so. But he didn't really put an evasive move on before he tried to get boot to ball, did he? I reckon that was fair to let it roll.
Jim Lumumba drives that wobbler. Fantastic trap in the end. Hogan flicks it out in Vandenberg's direction. Ashby's with him. We shook him nicely. Sits it up. High, McDonald, Bagley.
Jeff again.
Well done by Quilt there to block McDonald out.
But he still ran to the back, hoping the miracle ball was going to find its way through there. Jeff Garlett has been led to the contest every time by Bagley.
Bagley kicks it up. Goddard does well, dives in on top, then coughs it up. Hogan gets it out. Cross gets the handball working. This is a big play. They've got to get a goal here at Melbourne. The Bombers have been resolute in defence and a little bit lucky in the last 5 minutes with 2 posters going to the Demons. So now, the big kick. The tall timbers up forward. McDonald Watts flies from behind. Bombers have got the fall of the ball. Handball comes out from Gleeson. Danger and a rush behind. So they still can't get maximum result, the Demons.
7 times inside 50 for the quarter. 1 goal, 3 is the net.
Bagley told to go more than 15. Howe takes the mark.
This will make it 8. Go short.
Inside, sits it on Jones' head. Good contest from Jones. Ambrose put his head down. Hibbert put his head down. Stolen back by Jetta to Dawes. Open space if they can get it forward, Melbourne. Jones handled back into the congestion though. Laverty done well in his first game. Bomber fan as a kid. It's the play for the team he grew up barring for. Local boy. And local boy done good so far. 61-46, Bombers lead.
Dawes gets the tap. It's a huge 13 minutes for James Hird and the Essendon Football Club. They lead by 15 points and they've got the ball at half forward. Hooker's held, grabbed and then he broke the tackle. He runs to 55. He kicks it into the corridor. Here's a big chance. McKernan went one-handed. Lumumba's got it grabbed high. Free kick.
Just a bit enthusiastic.
So Lumumba kicks out wide. Hogan's come down from full forward to mark at half-back flank. Now the race is on. Dawes presents. Could get the little chip kick. Now he does. Dawes marks just backward of centre wing. 12 minutes to go. 3 kicks in it. Bombers lead by 15 points. Such a celebrated career for James Hird, and today, well, it's just as big as any for him as a coach of the Essendon Football Club. Beautiful tackle, thrown to the ground. Zaharakis knocks it forward. Merritt gets it to his brother. The handball goes backwards to Goddard, which was good football. Great play. Some real good composure here by the Bombers. Now they've got to start getting it moving forward as it goes out to Quilt, who marks in the back pocket.
Quilt took the step. Hibbert. Don't want to kick it long to Melbourne. Spare man waiting back. The boundary for a one-on-one. Dyson Heppel. Zaharakis in some space. Hurley overcooked it to Ambrose. Gawn about to be run down. Gets it to Vince. Big kick this. Vandenberg. McDonald.
Great spotter.
He's had some opportunities this afternoon. They've all been big. They all keep getting bigger.
He's hardly kicked it well at the big post.
He's hit the post and he's put one out in the fullness corner.
What's going through his head right now, Dan?
There'd be a fair bit of hope in there.
To make it a 2-kick game.
He's just not hitting the centre of his foot.
He nearly missed it.
Well, he's a defender. We don't have to let him off.
He's just
might be why he's a
head.
defender.
He's just lifted his head on his last stride, isn't he?
Yeah,
watching the ball onto his boot.
One of your old chestnuts, Eddie, his toe is pointing upwards when he strikes it.
Yeah.
His toe is not pointing at the target.
The spot
Makes a big difference.
Makes all the difference.
Plato's having a giggle.
Well, how do guys that have been in the game this long not know how to kick a goal?
Bruce Andrew on World of Sport in the 70s was telling people never taught instep. Nothing's changed. Goddard gets the handball out.
Good hands.
O'Brien kicks up the line. Free kick. Player on advantage. And away go the Bombers. Howard holds up. Heppel slips up. And now a chance again for Melbourne.
Hogan working up the field, starting to get involved in the game now the last 5 minutes.
That's a brave kick. He's got to get there, though.
Cross has to go hard. It's been picked up by Gwilt. Gwilt kicks inside. Chance there at the run into the open goal. Ambrose misses it. Backs it up. Tackled. Gone. Umpire says I'll have a bounce. Lucky.
The one thing, no matter what God gifts you with, the one thing you want to have as a footballer is clean hands.
Look at this. The Charger Light Brigade. They're all running forward. At the fall of the ball, Vince takes it through for a behind. So still 3 kicks in it. Essendon lead by 15 points.
Vince told to go. Umpire tells him not 15. Jetta. Inside 10 minutes to full time. McDonald. This is better. All the way back there. Back to Bernie. And Bernie runs.
Go to Dawes. Go long. He's he's got the favourable matchup.
So Dawes, Steinberg, Dawes, got a big chest on it. Jeffy, he's been threatening. And it's another behind for Jeff Garlett. And another behind to Melbourne. They're 5-18 to Essendon 9-8.
They've kicked 1-5 this quarter to one behind. 38,000 in today.
Of course, in the second quarter too, and they kicked 2 goals, 6.
Yep. And they've been very gettable, the goals too, all of them.
Oh, they're on. Bad bounce.
So Cross just bangs it on the boot up to the forward 50, and a strong mark has been taken there by Hogan. Hogan looks up.
Now, somebody's got to come lead at him. They're all running to the goal square. Somebody has to give a definitive lead.
He goes to the goal square. Dawes, hands, Garland this time. Yes, he can! Finally, the hardest of the lot. He kicks.
Jeffy. You said he's been threatening. He's been threatening to get dragged, I reckon, the way he's playing. And the one time we want pure skill, the hardest snap of the day, he delivers. Because I've been really disappointed in his play today. But that is pure.
Look where the ball drops though. Hogan kicks it in there about 15 metres out from goal. This is where opportunities come out of. It's pretty handy finish though as well.
What about, it is the first time for the day he has led Mark Bagley to the ball.
Good point.
And what does he get?
Hey, Brownie, you're right. Hogan's kick was a beauty though. Kicked it to the right spot. Didn't overcome.
Starting to come into the game, Ed.
The last time these two teams met, Melbourne came from a couple of goals down to steal it by a point. They're threatening to do the same. Early in the hole. Big grab that. Gleeson. Lays on.
All ahead.
Jackson Merritt puts it to grass. Hip and shoulder, huge. From Jones. Watts. Short. JKH. The subs on. Jake Kennedy Harris. What can he do? Is he within range? Short and of all the people to go to, the Essendon deliberately left him free.
You know what though? He turned his back on the goal to walk and settle himself. You know what? No one manned the mark. He could have turned around and run into 15 closer.
Well, he's been the Big Mac McDonald today. He's got one with a lot.
He got sauce all over him.
The only thing he hasn't got is a goal. He's been great in defence. He's been all over the place up forward.
From 46, hasn't been his game, makes it his moment. It's a 2-point game.
That's a great kick. Great kick.
Maxi Gawn in the middle of the ground is Kingy. You mentioned how they weren't capitalising on their the ruck work of Maxi Gawn. His clearance work in the ground now is really important.
Absolutely, and centre bounce clearances is where they've been great all day, Dern. Max Gawn is the most important player to Melbourne right now. If you can get them going out of the middle and around these clearances and start actually hitting the ball to the Melbourne jumpers, not allowing it to be sharked, they should win here. They've got all the momentum.
Well, McDonald took that mark and he went, right, come on, kick the goal.
That's right. What I liked, he walked straight back to the top of his mark. That was good body language, Ed.
Here we go. 2 points of difference. A big 7.5 minutes for both these clubs. This is why I love this game. 2 scrubbing teams at the moment, and they're playing as if it's the grand final. Look at them go. In goes Viney. Caught one high. Umpire let it go. The kick came out from Vandenberg. Inside 50 they go. Garlett, Logie with intent. Knocks it forward. In they go. Here's a chance there for Kennedy Harris. It's picked up by Steinberg for the Bombers though. Ball spills out. Gleeson goes back. And a good kick coming out from Begley. He's been great today. Merritt takes it to the boundary line. Like a throw in. All right. Brownie, what happens from here?
Well, Essendon need to do something here, and they've become really reactive around the stoppages. Got to get proactive, get some guys on the move.
Heppel's the one they need to get him into these stoppage plays, get his hands on the footy and momentum forward.
Gleeson, Zach Merritt, everything under pressure, everything dangerous. Bagley hammers it out. Danaher, a little push off. Big hip shoulder there, and a good tackle, Lumumba. Stretch, feeds it back. Vince bangs it long. And almost the mark to Hurley. Ashby gathers the crumb. Congested. Hooker makes it somebody else's problem again. Howe flies. Thumped clear. Lamumba tries to dance his way out through some legs. Vince gets it up. Still tight. Still hard to move it. Big hip and shoulder on Howland. Put into the grass.
Umpire was the wrong side. It was head high. He took a shot. Umpire was on the other side of the traffic.
How hard is this kid, Dern?
Oh, yeah.
Brayshaw is as hard as a cat's head.
Helmet's no slouch either.
Nothing wrong with that.
Great contest.
Keys might have been a bit stiff not to get a free kick in that passage of play as well, but it doesn't matter because this is what it's all about. Two teams going at each other with 6 minutes left on the clock. Melbourne get it down to McDonald, who is running rampant in this last 10 minutes of play. He kicks it up towards Garland. He goes up. It hits the deck. Garland fighting there with Hooker. Look at that. They've got their own personal war. In the meantime, Goddard goes and gets the footy over to Hibbert, who says, somebody run towards me. He kicks it out, and the mark's been taken by Stan Goodmark in front of Varney. It's on centre wing. 5 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock.
Essendon's extra numbers are behind the footy and they can't run. Here they are now. See, they've got a few unmarked blokes there. They're too tired to run.
Stanton gets the ball forward. Here they go, the Bombers. McKernan marks. He'll have to kick it 53 metres.
Took the young bloke Gleeson to just the bit between the teeth and just give them 15, 20 metres offensive run.
Big Gaunt is in the square by himself. The big ruckman, no one's gone down there. So McKernan is going to have to kick this 53 metres at least. Handballs it off. Hurley with a big bomb. It's long. It's strong. And guess who's on the line? It's a point. 3 points of difference. 21 minutes gone. 4:48 on the clock.
Looked like it had the distance to it. He's just going to get over Max Gawn's head there.
Just touched the inside of the post in the end. It is Gawn unopposed again.
He left the 7-footer unopposed on the goal line for a 55-metre kick.
Heads to the wing. Good contest and a ball in, and Gawn will have the reach again. But can they get the clearance to advantage? I bet the clearance to disadvantage. So many occasions this afternoon. It's a 3-point game. They've come from 25 points down, Melbourne, to be 3 points away. One kick from the lead. Jones goes to ground. Cross with a bouncer. Vandenberg played his heart out. Hogan to the pocket to McDonald. Half held. Ball to the back. Bagley. Garland hunts him down. He goes wide. Stanton. Watts. Stanton. Old heads combined. Stanton. Goddard. They show some poise. We're down to 4 minutes. O'Brien. And he pokes it.
Gonna go, Harry.
Danaher! Can he be the man?
He has been so far. And he has kicked magnificently today. And it's going to take a replica kick of the 4 he's had already.
Wow.
I heard Matty Lloyd say that he used 5 different run-ups last week, 5 different approaches to his set shot kicking. This is the critical one, guys. Does he maintain that approach?
He looks confident. He's got force freight. Spins the ball in his hands. Deliberate approach. 3 minutes left. Can stretch the margin beyond a goal. It's coming back. It's out of here.
What a kick. What a bomb.
Great effort from a young player to go back and survive that pressure.
Well, Brady, he is the number 1 forward in Essendon's forward line. We talk about he's only played, this is his 40th game, but he is the senior figure on that forward line.
He's a bit unlucky there, Lyndon Dunn. It was a bad kick coming in. He was trying to protect the goal space, but importantly, Joe Danaher was playing in front, and that often happens in these conditions. Durham goes back, kicks the goal. He's been the most important player out in the field today.
His first kick today at goal looked like he was in a torture chamber. His 5th goal, he just says, how easy is that? Last roll of dice for the Demons. They've got to get one here. Jones has kicked inside 50. Heppel at the fall of the ball was magnificent and was dragged down. 3 minutes, inside 3 minutes in this game. The Bombers recovering from a 110-point record drubbing against St Kilda last week. So much pressure on this club. Heppel has been magnificent as acting captain. So many of their stars out of the side. The young blokes have stood up for the Bombers. Can they keep going? 2 minutes 30. They need to kick 2 goals. Melbourne. 25 scoring shots to Melbourne, 19 to Essendon, but it's the Bombers by 9. 38,861 sounds like 60,000 at the moment. And Hurley gets across and has been one of the best players on the ground. What a leadership performance he's had today. McKernan, this kick important, it's a good one too. And leading out full-chested to take the mark is Laverde in his first game. The boy from Keeler.
He's a big lad too.
Yeah. Kicks it up the line. Great mark. That could just about seal it for the Bombers, I think.
Good chop out by Goddard there, just to put a screen on Lumumba as he tried to spoil.
Been good in the second half, Goddard.
Patrick Ambrose, Laverde screaming for it. Ignored, he kicks it long up the line. Looking for Goddard, getting across and taking the mark is Howe.
They've got to pull the trigger. They've got to play express if they want to have any sort of chance here.
They need 2 goals in 90 seconds. Gawn crashes it, brings it to ground. Bernie Vince to set it up. He's got Garland forward and Garlett forward. Sits it up for Garland. Bagley, well, Garlett ran to the front. Bagley ran to where the ball was. And he saves the day yet again. Gwilt. They can just milk some seconds off the clock here. Be clever. And he goes the wise option to Ashby, who had 3 or 4 metres. And he can take more seconds off the clock.
They're 1 kick away from a win here, aren't they, Dwayne?
They're almost a kick backwards, another 30 seconds off the clock away from a massive win for this club. Pack flies, off hands. Howell, 40 seconds and counting. Tyson, Ashby, subs done well. Hogan, close to the line, and it's out of play, and that should do it.
Unbelievable. As Paul Roos pensively sits, and James Hird, the golden boy of the AFL for all of his career, has been a polarising figure in the last 3 years with all the dramas around the Bombers. And James Hird has been able to get his team up after some soul-searching and a meeting that went for 2 hours early in the week where the club came together and really looked inside its heart and said, right, we must stand for something this week against the Melbourne Football Club. And they're going to get the points, the Bombers. They're going to stand up and win. James Hird's got his team up and over the line again with a whole lot of young boys out there playing against a brave Melbourne. But it's been the famous team from Windy Hill who've stood up 13 seconds away from singing the song.
And won't it be a loud rendition of the song yet?
One final bounce and it's all over. And a week of agony at Windy Hill will become triumph again at the MCG. Up they go. McDonald gets the tap. Hibbert, quite fittingly, has the ball nearly in his hand at the end. And there's the siren and there's the Essendon roar. Pats on the back for James Hird. And that man, Jake Danaher, with 5 goals. Look at the scenes here. This is more like a grand final win, Dermot, than a mid-season game at the MCG between 2 teams at the bottom end of the ladder. This meant so much for this famous club.
You get belted and you get knocked around in life, and the life of these young men at Windy Hill has been, they've been baseball battered, emotionally, physically, and suddenly out of the wreckage they can find a win after, gee, I reckon it's the worst loss I've seen Essendon have last week in 33 years of being involved in AFL footy, and to come out against a team who's reasonably well performed, but everything to win, and they give you an effort like this today. They were heroic.
Yep, Watson, Cooney, Collier, Myers, Bellchambers, Carlisle, Fletcher, Chapman, Melksham and Hocking out of the team. But the young boys stood up.